I'm Bea, an amateur student of wine, and this is Let's Discover Wine. Today we're discussing the term vintage wine, and that's a term that confuses some wine lovers. It's very simple. For a wine to have a vintage, which is the year the grapes were grown, all the grapes had to be harvested the same year. They can't blend in wine from previous years into a vintage wine. So any wine with a year printed someplace on the label is a vintage wine. Many people think that vintage means higher quality. That's not true, even though vintage wines are sometimes more expensive than non-vintage. The price may be higher for vintage wine because the grapes may have come from the best part of the vineyard, or because the grower put more time and money into producing the wines, such as using newer oak or more expensive oak. But vintage wine isn't always more expensive. For example, the infamous 2-buck chuck, which now costs $5.49, is true vintage wine. Some people think vintage means older wine that's been stored for years. That's absolutely untrue in the world of wine. In reference to antiques and collectibles, the word vintage can mean older than a certain age. Not so in wine. The grapes for Beaujolais Nouveau are picked in early September, and the finished wine goes on sale in mid-November. They're only about 2 months old. But it is a vintage wine because the grapes were all grown the same year. The vintage year is not the year of release when the grapes go on sale. It's always the year the grapes were harvested. All vintage wine has the year printed someplace on the bottle, whether the wine cost $5 or hundreds of dollars. Non-vintage wines are produced from grapes that were picked in different years. One reason a vintner may produce an NV wine is it helps them produce consistent, similar tastes in different years. For example, if there's too little acid one year, the vintner can blend in wine from a previous year that had more acid. Of course, comments are welcome below. Also, do you have any suggestions of other wine terms for future videos? Or can you think of ways to improve the videos technically using just a smartphone?